My guest today is a very accomplished individual. 10 years ago, he replaced Tim Rapp as head coach of the men's basketball team for Cal Poly Pomona. In the 54 seasons prior to his first season, the men's basketball team only made the Elite Eight 3 times. In just 10 short seasons, the team has not only reached that total, but surpassed it with the championship win over Indiana University of Pennsylvania. My guest today is head coach Greg Kamansky. Coach Kamansky, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Just less than a month ago, you coached the Cal Poly Pomona men's basketball team to its first ever championship win. At what point were you convinced that you were going to win the game?
Probably about after the first couple minutes. I saw you're never sure you're going to win the game. With a minute to go, I still thought there might be a chance if there was a 12-point shot. But the reality is, I knew the attitude was there before the game. I knew Austin and Dahir, our leaders out there in Donnell, and I knew that they had the drive to do it that night. I just saw it in their eyes. And after the first couple minutes, I saw the intensity level that we were playing at, which is what our normal intensity level is in playoff time is. But I didn't quite see the same type of intensity level from Indiana. And I knew at that point that, you know what, we've got a great shot at winning this time.
Mm-hmm. According to Athletic Director Brian Swanson, you made the bold decision on the eve of the championship game to not practice. What led you to make this decision?
Well, that point of the year, rest is more important than anything else. Our guys we've been on the road for almost 2 straight months, because the last part of the season we were 9-11 on the road for league, and then we had to go up to Humboldt, and then we had to go to Seattle, and then we had to go to Springfield. And our guys, the biggest thing that you do as a coach, and especially in tournament time, is to give their legs some rest. We knew we were prepared to play them. My assistant coaches and myself, we developed a scheme against that team. It was just a matter of them being mentally focused more than anything else. Their legs and their bodies were the most important thing at that point, is getting them rested.
What was going through your mind the night before the game? Were you anxious, excited, nervous, all the above?
No. Again, we've been there before, so it wasn't like, this is a first time thing for us. And I thought we had a pretty good chance, if we played well, to do what we needed to do. I was a lot more nervous against Findlay the year before, just because I knew how good they really were. Not that Indiana wasn't a very good team. I don't want to take anything away from them. I knew they were good and talented, but Findlay was undefeated and tough as nails. But I wasn't that nervous. No, I was confident in our players and our mentality at that point.
How has life changed since winning the championship?
Well, I've been a lot busier, let me tell you that. A lot of requests, just a lot of things that you have to do. ABC was out here, and just little things like that pop up.
Wow.
Doing this interview right now. But there's a lot of requests. We went to Angel Stadium, we went to Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, we went out there. We're going out to meet the chancellor of the whole state system in a couple weeks. And so basically it's been nonstop since, we got back, and it's just starting to ease up at this point.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So with Austin and Dahir leaving, what faces can we expect to take their place? And are there any potential high school seniors that are looking into coming to Cal Poly Pomona next year that you're aware of?
Well, yeah, we've signed four players at this point.
Oh, wow.
3 of them are high school. 1 of them is at a 4-year school right now from this local area. So we got an influx of talent coming in as far as getting some players. We're still not done. We're probably going to add another 2 or 3 players. But it's always the core team that's coming back that makes or breaks the next year. Just as far as mentality. And Dahir and Austin are. It's like the year before when Larry he's unreplaceable. He was an All-American, but every person has different strengths. And the biggest thing I'm looking forward to next year is, from our returners, is just the mentality and the leadership that Austin and Dahir gave us this year. And if we can find that, I think I'm excited. We'll be a force to reckon with again.
So going from a heart-stopping basketball season like the one that we just experienced into the off season is like hitting the brakes at 75 miles per hour on the freeway. In the off season, do you spend it relaxing, or is it mostly ample time for preparing for the upcoming season?
We spend probably 90% of our time in the off season recruiting. I mean, once we're done with this recruiting class, which I don't know when we'll be done, hopefully, but it's a success if we're finished for next year's recruiting by June or July.
Oh, wow.
But once July hits, we're recruiting for the following year after that, because they have all the tournaments. And so, I mean, recruiting never ends. It never ends. We get about, maybe a month and a half, maybe August, maybe our lowest downtime of all the months. But then we got camps and clinics and all that kind of stuff. So it really never stops, to be honest.
Wow.
But August, beginning of September is more or less our downtime, if you can call it that.
When I spoke with President Ortiz last February, he said that you were a great father. How is your game plan as a basketball coach compared to your game plan as a father at home? How does it differ?
I don't know. I'd probably kick a couple of my kids off the team, my own kids off the team, to be honest. It's just hard. You're always, whatever profession you're in, but coaching, you're gone so much, and you really try to make that balance. And I really rely a lot on my assistants, and I always make jokes. Everywhere I go, I say, you know what, the reason I'm married is because of these two guys over here, and it's the truth. I'm not always on the road recruiting. Those guys are. They do a lot of the work. I always tell my assistants, it's not necessarily how long you work, it's how smart you work. I'd rather go in the office. One thing I think I do pretty well, when we start talking about game plan or during season, I can come up with a game plan within, 3 to 4 hours. Other coaches watch tape after tape after tape and spend, 3-4 days trying to prepare for a team, where I think I can watch a tape, talk it over with my assistants. We get a game plan like that, and I think that's why we've done well in the NCAA tournament, because it's quick turnaround. All of a sudden you're playing a team you've never played before, and you got one tape. How do you make a game plan? Well, we can go out and make a game plan in an hour or two watching some tape and know the adjustments we need to make. And I think working smart is much more conducive to having a family life than working long hours and that kind of stuff. So I try to make that balance where if I can work smart, we work hard, but I don't have to necessarily put in, maybe 16 hours, and I can put in 8 hours, and that makes a difference with my family life.
You and your wife have been married for a long time now. What would you say is the one contributing factor to the success of your marriage?
Oh, you're nice to him. Just be nice. She's a good person. She has her own life. Not that my team's not important and all that kind of stuff, but I think that's important for a marriage to last. Is each of you got to have a little bit of your own life. It can't be just about Greg Kamansky, the coach's life, because all she'll be is the coach's wife all the time. Well, I'm her husband. I go in her world, and she's she works at our kids' school and does some things out there, and it's like I'm her husband there. I'm Ann's husband. I'm not, Greg Kamansky, this coach. I'm Ann's husband, and so it's kind of neat how it works out a little bit and how it all mingles together. But just be nice and try to respect each other, and so.
That's great. Well, now comes the question that has been on the mind of many Cal Poly students. From which schools have you received offers to coach?
Have you? I have not been out looking for jobs. Mm-hmm. So, to receive offers, you kind of got to be out looking. And, again, I'm happy here. I'll be the first to admit, if someone came in and decided they want to double my salary, I'd probably take a hard look at it. Everywhere I go, it happens every day. I swear there hasn't been a day since we won that championship that I haven't heard, why aren't you leaving? Why aren't you going? Why, you must be getting all these job offers. Why aren't you D1? It's like, you know what? I like the level I coach at. I don't have to be a Division I coach to think, I'm somebody. I want to see these players look at me as someone that is not just out for myself or out to get that next job or out to keep my job. And with that mentality, I think you're able to treat the players in the big picture sort of way. But right now, again, I'm happy here. It's a great place. I've built a program. You know, me and my staff have built a great program here. It's hard to walk away. It really is. It's hard. It would be hard to walk.
Well, I speak for everyone here when we say that we're very proud to have you part of our program.
Appreciate that.
Coach Kamansky, thank you so much for joining us today for this interview.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
This is Eric Carr for the Poly Post.